Gentlemen, we now move on to the second of this evening's groups, the Hound group. Our judge for this evening purchased his first beagle with his wife as a family pet in 1971. A couple of years later...
Welcome to group judging for the Hound group, the last group judging of this evening. And these are breeds originally bred for hunting, either by smell or by sight. So we'll have the scent hounds and the sight hounds.
Yeah,
Frank, we're going to see lots of different body shapes coming into the
absolutely.
arena.
The long, the short, and the tall, exactly. The sight hounds are usually the galloping hounds with longer legs, the scent hounds lower to the ground. It'll be a very spectacular group, I think.
We're welcoming our judge into the arena. Mike Capel will be in charge of deciding which of the Hound group will go through to Best in Show.
He's been a beagle breeder since 1970 and awards CCs. He's an approved judge for 22 of the hound breeds, so a wide range of experience across these breeds.
And now, the first of our best breed winners into the Hound group this
So
evening
in come our breeds. This first is the Afghan Hound that is just all elegance and glamour. It's one of the sight hounds.
And here is the Basenji, the hunting hound of the Congo region of Africa.
The Basset Fauve de Bretagne is a scent hound developed in Brittany.
The largest of the Basset family, the Grand Basset Griffon Vendienne.
And we've got the petite version coming in behind.
From a smaller mould, yes.
The Basset Hound.
And perhaps the best known of the Basset family, the Basset Hound, getting his nose down there, real scenting hound.
The Bavarian Mountain Hound.
This one is a real agile and athletic hound, the Bavarian Mountain Hound.
First time they've had classes at Crufts this year.
Our best of breed beagle.
Ah, the lovely beagle. This tricolour hound. Aha.
Very distinct and famous scent hound on the vulnerable breed list, though, dwindling in numbers.
Here we have our best of breed borzoi.
Now the elegance and glamour of the borzoi, the Russian wolfhound.
Following in, the Chineko Deletna.
The Chineko Deletna is a rabbit hunter, of course near Mount Etna, hence the name.
The first of our Dachshunds is the long-haired Dachshund.
The first of the Dachshund family, the standard long-haired Dachshund.
And now we have the miniature long-haired Dachshund.
And the miniature. There are 3 coat varieties and 2 sizes of each Dachshund.
The smooth-haired Dachshund.
Here's the standard smooth Dachshund, perhaps the patriarch of the Dachshund group.
And the miniature smooth-haired Dachshund.
And the miniature. They're popular. This one, sometimes nicknamed the sausage dog, commonly.
The wire-haired Dachshund.
From the famous kennels that we've had Best in Show here before, it's the standard wire-haired Dachshund.
And you've guessed it, the miniature wire-haired Dachshund.
And with the same outer coat and dense undercoat, we've got the miniature version.
Slight change of size now, we have the Deerhound.
To another sight hound, the long-legged, elegant, light-footed deerhound.
Followed by the Finnish Spitz.
Well, this is the national dog of Finland, the Finnish Spitz.
And perhaps the noisiest worker in the hound group.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we have the Foxhound.
Here's the foxhound, small entry, rarely shown in the show ring in this country.
And our best of breed, Greyhound.
Greyhound, another that's on the vulnerable breeds list. Best in Show winners 3 times
Now
for
we
Greyhound.
have Hamilton Stavara.
Here's the Hamilton Stavare, this Swedish foxhound.
And the Harrier.
The Harrier, there's only about 300 of these left in the world.
Our best of breed, Ibethan Hound.
Here's the Ibethan hound coming in, this long-legged, hovering gait of the Ibethan.
Followed by the Irish Wolfhound.
Oh, ever impressive, the biggest of all the dog breeds, the Irish Wolfhound.
Now we have the Norwegian Elkhound.
The national dog of Norway, the Elkhound.
And the Otterhound.
Well, we talk about being fit for purpose. The Otter Hound here with that oily, weather-resistant coat.
The Pharaoh Hound.
And one which hails back to the Egyptian dynasties, the Pharaoh Hound.
Or Warren Hound.
Here's another rabbit hunter. You can just imagine this one getting in and amongst the Warrens, can't you? A Portuguese Podengo.
And waiting in the wings, the lithe athleticism of the Rhodesian Ridgeback.
251 of them at Crufts this year.
And the Saluki.
The Saluki has such a striking appearance, that feathering.
Now we have the Slugie.
And quite similar, but very different also, the Slugie, the Sighthound of North Africa.
Our best of breed Whippets.
An extraordinary number of whippets at Crufts this year. 400 of them
And
entered.
representing the AV imported breeds for the hounds is the Azawak.
Now here's the exotic Azawak, another breed from Africa.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's all of our hound best of breeds into the ring. I'll hand over now to Kim Silitopian and Stuart McKay-Bell to take you through the rest of the judging.
So all of our hounds safely into the arena. And interesting noting that those sight hounds, you're saying, Frank, stand taller because they need to have sight over long distance, don't they? And yet those who are shorter legs and close to the ground, those generally the scent hounds.
Now our judge just taking a look round at the best of breed winners, taking their balance, their size, their outline. Often the first sign of good breed type, that they've got the right proportions for the breed.
And these are all, of course, best of their breed. So what will the judge be looking for once we get to the individual judging stage?
Well, he'll be looking for breed type. He'll be remembering all the details of each breed standard and finding out which dog is closest to its breed standard.
We have sight hounds, dogs that hunt by sight, then racing off to run down their target through speed, endurance and persistence.
Again, lots of different body shapes in this hound group, all variety. We've seen the immense variety of size, no less, as well, seeing the Irish Wolfhound come into the arena.
And a picture of concentration there for Mr. Capel.
To hunt and run down their quarry. Then we have the Dachshund subgroup. Now, as our judge, Mike Capel, steps
So
forward
now a
to
chance
examine
for
the
the
first
judge,
of
Mike
this
Capel,
group.
to study each
And that's
breed
the
individually.
Afghan Hound, judged today by Sarah Hatchell, an entry of 100.
And here's the Sighthound of Afghanistan, and undoubtedly the most glamorous of the hound group, with its well-groomed coat, adding to its natural elegance. The Afghan has a naturally aloof expression. Now we see the judge going over the dog, feeling its shoulders, feeling its rib cage, feeling the hind angulation, the sharp haunch bones, a feature of the breed, and that ringed tail, another breed feature.
Gazelle and smaller game like the hare and the fox.
And that coat is meant to develop naturally, isn't it, Frank? If there's any evidence of clipping or scissoring, that would be penalised.
Yes, they naturally develop this bare saddle across the back. Again, this should be light and elegant. The standard says style of a high order, and this dog going light, a slight lift to its movement, carrying that little ring tail over its back. This dog was a big winner in Australia before it came here, and one of the top Afghans in the breed last year.
And this one is 5 years old. This is Alfie.
Really do apply to this striking hound. Our best of breed winning Afghan hound number 11227.
Now on the table for Mike Capel is the best of breed winning Basenji.
Well, this is the dog which has no bark. It makes a yodeling sound instead, although probably we won't hear that in the ring today. But the first Basenjis came to England from the African Congo in 1936, where they'd been used as an all-purpose hunting dog, so using both scent and sight.
But in more recent
It
times,
said that they resemble a gazelle. This short leggy and short-backed and very elegant.
some interesting historical facts about this breed. The first
And
pair
that
of
tail is
Basenjis
distinctive,
were
isn't it? The
imported into
curl is a
Little
particular
donut curl,
feature.
yes. They've got smooth, pliant skin. When they were hunting, they sometimes have bells attached to their collar, and they sight game by jumping up and down vertically to look over the savanna grasslands to see where the game is.
And they're very clean dogs as well. They've been described as clean as a cat.
Also known as the
coat is short and sleek and very fine.
There's still something quite primitive about the Basenji. Great climbers that can escape from anything. That swinging stride, very typical of the Basenji.
And this one just 15 months old.
And has come all the way from Poland to win today.
Number 11323.
And there, the Basset Fauve. Fauve means fawn, and that's the only colour in which this Basset variety comes. He was developed in Brittany as a scent hound, often hunting in pairs, a brace of hounds working together. Their quarry was hare, rabbit and fox.
It is one of the smallest of the French hounds.
It's thought it's a descendant of the longer-legged Griffon Fauve de Bretagne, which hunted wolves. But then, when the wolves died out, this breed was developed to hunt smaller game.
Came off the Kennel Club's import register.
Once we see this 4-year-old female on the move, Judge will be looking for a well-balanced dog with a level top line.
And this double coat, a wiry top coat, insulating undercoat, medium length of body, but good ground clearance so it can cover roughest terrains.
You can see that tail set high, wagging away as well, very happy to be out there, but carried like a sickle when on the move.
Suitable for a good household dog. Our best of breed Basset Fauve de Bretagne, number 11379.
Well, this one's the tallest of the hounds, the tallest of the Bassets, the Grand variety, Basset Griffon Vendian. It's got the longest legs, longest body, and longest ears as well, and originally used for hunting hare and rabbit.
The Grand, as he is known, is an intelligent...
Yes, everything is a little bit stretched in the Grand Basset. It's a longer head, a longer neck, a long level top line in this scimitar-like tail. It should be rustic. It's got a rough coat, but it's also should never be over-groomed. It should look rustic and hardy.
And a bit of a noble look about that head as well. This is a dog with great stamina, isn't it, for its original function?
Yes, this was bred in a famous kennel in the Netherlands, Anouk and Gwen Hoekenhoven. And actually, viewers might have seen this winning a reserved spot in the vulnerable breeds last night.
With a strong will of their own. Sometimes can be obstinate, but they're very affectionate.
That was in the centenary celebration stakes last night, runner-up, so it's having a good Crufts.
That's our best of breed, Grand Basset Griffon Vendian, number 11408.
Now, something in a smaller mould, the Petit Basset Griffon Vendian. It originates from the same source as the Grand Griffon we've just seen. They were often appearing in the same litter, but they were separated in 1950 and became two separate breeds then. There's no interbreeding now allowed between the two varieties. Everything in the Petit Basset is more moderate. A shorter muzzle, shorter ears, shorter tail, everything a bit more compact. But this breed can certainly cover the ground. They make great show dogs and very good hunters.
When it was used to hunt rabbit.
Should carry that head nice and proudly. And even though it is a compact hound, yeah, it should still be capable of giving that sense of being able to do a really good day's work.
And look how it's stretching out and long stride, getting its hocks well underneath it, and that sickle tail carried perfectly.
This is Hemi, who is 23 months old and has come from Palm Springs, USA. Sorry about the weather in Birmingham.
Gaining immense popularity here in Great Britain. Our best of breed 11448.
Well, this one, the athletic pack hunter, developed in the Middle Ages by French monks, unmistakable Basset hound. And those long ears, such a feature because it encloses the scent and helps with the idea of being a scent hound, and that flappy elastic skin also gives protection in thick undergrowth.
It's the most substantial of the Bassets, as we see here, with its strong bone, strong rib cage. There's a lot of substance there, but the breeders are working hard and have worked hard to make it less exaggerated in skin, not too much substance about it. So it is a fit-for-purpose hound.
It should still have good clearance despite being low to the ground.
Yes, and they're trying to eliminate too much wrinkle in the head, too much wrinkle on the legs, and on the underline.
Calm, serious expression.
This is
Having a
Bruce,
temperament
who's
which is
2 years
classic,
old and
never aggressive or timid,
has come from
always
County
affectionate.
Durham.
A real family dog, just as happy to hunt over the moors as lay by a fireside. That's our Basset Hound.
Keen to get his head down to take up the scents of the big ring here as well. A real scenting hound.
And now we welcome for the first
And
time
here is the
from the
Bavarian
import
Mountain
register,
Hound, and it's the
this is
first
the
time they've had
Bavarian
classes at
Mountain
Crufts. It's
Hound.
relatively new in the UK.
The
It
Bavarian
hails from
Mountain
southern
Hound, judged
Germany,
today by
where it
Zeno
was used to
Corn
track
Andrews,
wounded
sent through
game
to
by
the breed.
following the blood trail,
To represent
usually the
breed
trail
this
of
evening in the
wounded
group,
deer.
the dog number
It's thought to be the
11633.
descendant of a Hanoverian hound, an ancient German hound, a small bloodhound
To
type.
track down wounded game, designed to work on steep mountain slopes.
It has a calm and
The Bavarian
devoted
Mountain Hound is
temperament.
agile
His
and
nostrils should be
athletic.
well open,
It's thought
flat
that the breed
skull.
is in some respects
Yes,
a
it
smaller
should be
version of the
rectangular
Hanoverian
in
Hound,
its build.
a small German
It's
bloodhound,
athletic.
which played a
This
large
colour is
part
deer
of its
red or
ancestry.
tan or fawn, often with a black overlay as we see here.
In 1912, the
Tail
Bavarian
carried
Mountain
level or
Hound
slightly
Club
lower than the back in the
established
just looking at that
Absolutely.
light springing action.
As they accelerate, they lower their head, and of course they're interested in the scent on the
Although
ground.
The breed was then on the import register when uniformity of breed type was established. That was our best of breed Bavarian Mountain Hound.
There are 224
1163.
beagles at Crufts this year, and this one,
On the table now,
22
the
months
Beagle,
old,
one of the
Tiana,
oldest of the
female, the
hounds
best
known
of
as the
them all. Very
Short.
sturdy and
Today,
compact
Beagles were judged by
outline,
David
and the
Craig,
smallest
and
of the
his
British
best
pack
breed
hounds.
224 exhibits, our third highest entry.
It's
in
a
the
great
group.
view from our
We're
special
seeing the underline
tabletop
very
camera.
well, aren't we? Yes. So this is the breed which Mike Capel first owned and showed and made his first champion. What a lovely clean-cut outline this one has. This is a haired pied. It's not a clear tricolour. It's got some shading in the tan on its back. But above all, it's an absolutely unexaggerated hound. They were designed to be followed on foot, to hunt often in packs, but they also make wonderful domestic pets. But that scenting instinct never leaves them. If you see a man in a park with an empty leading collar, it's a beagle
Very
which
lucky
has
to be a
got its
beagle.
job, yes.
Excellent companions. They like their
Beautiful
exercise,
long ears
though.
that hang close to the
Muddy
cheeks,
their
those
dense
rounded
coat and
tips.
deep
This one
Characteristic.
from a famous kennel, the Anavar Kennel. This is Anavar Princess Tiana. She's done a lot of winning in the last year.
Our best of breed
Judge
Beagles,
David Craig, a
117.
prominent beagle exhibitor and judge.
And next out into the ring, we see the Bloodhound.
The
Graham
Bloodhound,
Hill was the breed judge this year at
marvellous
Crufts.
breed,
From
can be
his
traced
entry,
back to the
he sent through his
1300s,
best of breed, this
where
dog,
when it was used on a leash to hunt deer or wild boar.
Bloodhound is possibly descended from hounds once kept
In
at the
medieval
monastery of
times,
Saint
it was
Hubert
used in
in
the Scottish
Belgium.
borders
But it has
and
been
used to
bred
trail
and developed in
raiders
Britain
and cattle
since
thieves.
before
And the
1300.
Scottish gave it the name sleuth hounds.
It was originally
It's
used
thought that
as
it
a
also
leash
went on the
hound
trail
for
of Robert the
hunting
Bruce
deer
and
and
William
wild boar,
Wallace, but perhaps there's a
but
bit of
also
romantic
from very
folklore
early
there.
times for
However,
tracking humans. In Scotland, he was known as the sleuth hound. and
This
was
one is on the
used-
vulnerable
was
breeds
used
list, Frank, isn't
it
it?
is, and I
Numbers
had
have
the
been
pleasure of
falling.
going to a working trial
Suited
recently to
raiders
see the
and
breed
cattle
working. The
thieves.
breed is
Early
exhibitors
police
still
forces
keen
made
to keep
good
up the
use of
dual
bloodhound
purpose of it
scenting ability
and
too.
working hard. It was a breed which was a bit exaggerated. When I first came to
Victoria
Crufts 40
showed
years ago,
bloodhounds,
much
as
more
did her son,
skin,
Edward
more
VII,
overdone than this. The
who
breeders are
became
working
patron
hard and now have a good health scheme going
That's
for
our
the
best
breed.
of breed winning Bloodhound, number 11873.
Well, this
Now we
is
have the
such a
Borzoi.
spectacular
Today, the
breed, the
great marshals
Borzoi,
will
long
charge
limbed.
this
It's the
elegant
wolfhound of the
and
imperial
spectacular
Russian
breed.
aristocracy.
They
So
show
it's
us
something of an
the hound
imposing sight, but an elegant,
150
curvaceous
exhibits,
outline and that
ranges the
luxurious
dog,
coat
number
is
11969
absolutely
as
stunning
the
for the
group
breed.
representative. The Borzoi
This
is
long,
elegant
fine
breed,
head, so
originally
fine
known
in the
as
skin, you can
Russian
see the
wolfhounds.
veins
Their
under
name
the
denotes
skin.
their country of
This
origin
long,
and their
powerful
purpose.
muzzle. It was a wolfhound. It had
Russia,
to
they
bring
were a
down
great
wolves,
favourite with the
worked in
Russian courts
pairs,
and nobles, were
and it's got
prized
this
for their
arch over the
hunting
loin,
abilities.
which is a functional thing for
Also
muscular
protected
power
large
to propel
numbers
it
in
forward.
what became famous Russian hunting kennels were
And that
bred
coat
and
should
used
be
exclusively for the
silky,
purpose of
wavy,
bull
but not curly,
hunting. During the
per
Revolution
se.
and when
But
Bolsheviks
underneath all that coat,
gained
there has to be a
power,
functional
however,
working
Borzoi was
hound.
condemned and
Deep
kennels
chest
dispersed.
for lung and heart
Borzoi
room,
is built on the
good
lines of
shoulders to
speed
give
and
it this
grace.
light,
And in
easy
fact, when
stride in
Borzoi
front,
in the
and those
Russian
quarters to
language
give
translates as
galloping
swift.
power. They used to work in
Generally
pairs,
used for sight
take on the
hounds.
wolf, one from either side, until the wolf was exhausted.
Can't imagine that a dog which has such a graceful expression could take down wolves like that. Well balanced, graceful and dignified, the Borzoi.
The hunting vegetables very colourful in Russia. The dogs all wearing coloured silks and collars.
From Italy presided over the breed, and best of breed is this dog, number
Now something,
12007.
the Cineco dell'Etna. It looks a little bit like a smaller version of the Pharaoh Hound, and as his name suggests, he comes from Sicily, where he was used to hunt rabbit and hare on the slopes of Mount Etna. It's lightly built, pliable skin, very elegant in these large ears. It's known as the Sicilian Greyhound. It's lean, it's leggy, and very light on the move, very alert, and this long extended trot.
That springy trot is very distinctive and matching of the breed standard, narrow skull as well. It's very slender and elegant, but it still has a real robustness about it.
Over hard terrain.
This one 4 years old, it's Rafa from Essex.
The Pharaoh Hound and the Abethan that we'll see shortly in this spectacular
Really
hound
sleek, short on the head, ears and legs.
gentlemen, please show your appreciation for the Cineco dell'Etna, best of breed 12007.
And on the table now, the first of the Dachshund family. This is the standard long-haired Dachshunds. This was a Teckel dog, native of Germany, where it's used for hunting badger and fox. And it's the theory that the long-haired Dachshund hails from the early days of the breed, when they used to crop up in every litter. 6 varieties of Dachshund, 3 coats, the long-haired here, the smooth and the wire, and 2 sizes, the standard and the miniature. But they all share the same standard. We're looking for something which is moderately long in the body, moderately deep in the chest. They should have good ground clearance, sturdy, and they should have great courage and elegance in the carriage.
And twice as long as they are high, described in the breed standard. And then that longish coat, though, shouldn't impede the movement in any way. And that tail forms something of a flag, doesn't it?
And nature calls here too, yes. There it goes, very nice. Look at that nice level top line, slightly rounding of the croup. You can see the strength in the bone, and a lovely conical shaped head, almond shaped eyes. They don't want too much coat on them. They have to be workmanlike. Too much coat would rather inhibit their working.
Oh, just making everybody wait. There's personality for you.
Unfazed by the big ring atmosphere, obviously. And you've got to go.
We'll have another turnaround now.
That's our best of breed long-haired Dachshund, exhibit number 1205.
Our long-haired Dachshund is 2-year-old female, Gabby.
The miniature of the previous variety of the Dachshund, the miniature long-haired
Well, now the
Dachshund.
miniature long-haired Dachshund, and the miniatures preferably weigh under 5 kilos and should be well muscled and compact with enough ground clearance to still have free movement. Very intelligent, lively and courageous.
One of the great challenges is to get Dachshund type in a scaled down size, the miniature. Often they're measured at shows, they're weighed. The miniatures should be no more than 5 kilograms or 11 pounds, but there's no measuring at Crufts, and it's not at every show that they are measured. This one is a big winner in the breed. I judged them today from an entry of 120. This dog is 6 years old, I see, and he's been best. He's won the dog challenge certificate at Crufts 4 times. That's remarkable, eh?
We're looking to go to best in show if things go to plan this evening.
To the comfort and safety of their sets.
This is Robin, who's 6 years old, as you say, Frank, from Norwich in Norfolk.
Yes, so Wild Star Robinson, he's called, his formal name. Again, that lovely top line, the free reach in front, and that same conical head.
The next variety we see is
On the table
standard
now,
smooth
the
hair Dachshund,
smooth Dachshund, the standard smooth, the badger dog, and perhaps it's the prototype of the whole family.
Best of breed to this dog.
It's got this smooth skin, it's this pliable, protective skin, but should not be over-wrinkled. In Germany, there's a third size, the Kaninchenteckel, which is much finer and used also for hunting rabbits.
The smooth coat is impervious to rain and resistant to the winds.
This one, a black and tan.
Acute intelligence make this breed an ideal companion.
And just to clarify that the outfit that the handler wears does not influence the judge tonight.
And it should not detract from the dog's appearance. You should be able to see the dog and not the handler, yes. This one got very nice ground clearance, absolute moderation in its build, a long stride. You see the depth of body, but it's still got daylight under it, so it can cover the roughest of terrains. The standard used to say, courageous to the point of rashness. They have to be strong temperaments.
The miniature variety of the miniature smooth-haired Dachshund. There was a super entry.
This one, the miniature
165
smooth-haired Dachshund, low body, short, smooth coat. Again, should still have enough ground clearance to move freely, and its shape shouldn't be exaggerated. This is a 2-year-old, Lucy, female.
Identical in conformation.
And this the miniature smooth had the biggest entry of Dachshunds today. They've become very popular.
It also has a short, dense, smooth
Of course, the breeders have worked very hard with them, and they've really improved the temperaments and the head qualities, and now hugely popular. In the pandemic, there was huge demand for puppies of this size because of their outgoing personality.
And it is a breed, wasn't it, that back in Victorian times, Queen Victoria was a big Dachshund fan, but then the numbers fell away during the World War, but then came back again because of some dedicated breeders.
There's been a sudden burst of interest in this charming breed, with television appearances boosting his popularity. That's our best of breed miniature.
And here is the standard wire-haired variety on the table now. This one coming from a famous kennel, the Silvé kennel. A few years ago, they went best in show all breeds with one of their dogs. So this is a lovely one. The wire coated, we see there the crisp texture of the coat. There's a softer undercoat, but on the top we see the judge there just feeling the texture of the coat, going over the hind quarters. He wants firm muscle there. You can see the clean neck and shoulder, a picture of balance, plenty of daylight under it, a clean neck and shoulder, and this strong head. The coat gives them a little bit of beard and eyebrows, a little bit on the legs. It gives them great character, I think, the wire-haired.
His head is made even more attractive with the furnishings of bushy eyebrows.
You mentioned the Best in Show winner in 2020. That was Maisie, the wire-haired Dachshund. This one, Cherry, 3 years old. Could we see another wire-haired Dachshund go through to Best in Show?
Has been used for wild boar hunting and for beating stag. Although not the most
It's thought the standard wires first came into the country after the Second World War, brought by soldiers returning from the war from Germany.
And so the miniature version of the wire-haired. So the same harsh outer coat and dense undercoat. Again, that weight ideally around 4.5 kilos, but again should still be well muscled and compact and have that
This is also the last
rather almost defiant sort of head carriage.
And this one has come from Spain, and it's got what we call continental type. The continental type and the British type are a little bit different. We tend to have them a little bit lower to ground than in the continent. This one has come from Spain. We see the good ground clearance. Striding on, full of fun here. You can see the character. Look at that lashing tail.
It's described as being a very happy, healthy mover.
It certainly is. Look at that. It's enjoying it and really motoring round there. Perhaps a little bit too fast, actually.
And they make excellent little watchdogs.
That one is a red.
Surprisingly,
Asked to go round again. And to what extent is the pace of movement important?
Well, really, the dog should be shown to show off its best pace and balance. If you go too fast, the dog loses its natural balance and breaks out of the trot. Now the wonderful curving lines of the Deerhound, a breed developed in Scotland originally, where it was originally bred to hunt wolves. With the demise of the wolf, it was used for coursing deer. And later on, with the advent of guns, it was used for stag hunting. It's a sight hound. The greyhound influence is obvious in the curving lines over the loin. It has a rough, crisp coat, a mixture of rough and smooth hair, and it's got this lovely elegance, a light elegance on the move.
And there cannot be more greater contrast than following on from the miniature Dachshund that we just saw. The Deerhound is still elegant lines in that size, the long head, real characteristic as well.
And you know, although they have this natural instinct for hunting, they are the most gentle of breeds to live with, wonderful. And this far-seeing gaze, quite dreamy. They're a lovely, lovely breed.
This one is 5 years old, Pearl from Leicestershire. And yep, described as having a lovely, gentle personality. Lives with 6 other Deerhounds.
Best of breed Deerhound number 12680.
Light and accurate on the move, coming towards us with parallel movement.
Judged today by Mark Kukosa. Best of breed is this dog.
This is the national dog of Finland, and a real feature of the Finnish Spitz is its wedge-shaped head, compact body. It was originally bred to hunt elk and bear, and they'd bark to signal when they'd found something. And nowadays that bark is most useful to signal that a game bird has been found up in the trees, helping the hunters when they're in thick forest.
Now, this iridescent red coat, it's a sort of glowing red coat, a standoff harsh coat. There's little neat pricked ears. It is now known as the barking bird dog, and when it sights game, it barks to attract the hunters. The birds in the tree, the hunters come, so hence the barking bird dog. It's got this Spitz quality of the tail over the back and this brisk stride.
This independent, almost cat-like canine.
Tail's quite elaborate, isn't it? The way it arches, and that tip should extend almost to the middle part of the thigh.
There's still something quite primitive about the Finnish Spitz. Wonderful.
And now we see the Foxhound, judged today by Frank Kane. Best of breed is this dog, number 12757.
Now, the Foxhound, dating back to the 17th century, when fox hunting began, replacing stag hunting as the deer population declined. This one, a tricolour, they usually work in packs. They're not often seen in the show ring because they were pack hounds. Now, a few of them coming into the show ring. This one is a pack coming from pack hound blood. It should be essentially an unexaggerated hunting hound, strongly boned, should be clean shoulders to give it long stride, economical stride, this level back in the tail, set high and carried like a scimitar.
And this one is 8 years old, from Cheshire. You mentioned it's not often seen in the show ring, only really recently. Last year there was just one entry at Crufts. This year this is one of only 2 who were entered.
And this dog has won at Crufts 7 times. There's not a lot of competition, but he's kept his quality over the years.
We now move on to the Greyhound, a breed mentioned in the forest laws made by
Familiar sight of the Greyhound. This one, Brindle Greyhound. Greyhound is on the vulnerable breeds list, less than 300 puppies registered in the last year. But those you see in the show ring are larger and heavier than those you might see on the racing tracks. And these are very ancient sight hounds.
Though its origins are most probably in the Middle East.
Thought to be the archetype of the sight hound. It's been influential in many of the breeds in this group. We can see that shape, the elegant neck, the arch over the loin, the long legs. It's said about the Greyhound, the head of a snake, the neck of a drake. Gives this clean, long neck and long head. And last year, this was our group winner at Crufts, coming from the famous kennel in Germany.
Speeds of around 40 miles an hour. The Greyhound is a dog.
Yes, Aya is now 5.5 years old, so looking to see if she can do the double.
Not only winning a hound group here, but look at that lovely long stride, getting a hox underneath her. Everything about the Greyhound is about symmetry, a mixture of muscular power and elegance.
And now we see the Hamilton
The Hamilton Stavare, the Swedish foxhound now, is striking tricolour markings. Absolutely functional. At one time it was almost extinct in its native Sweden, and Count Hamilton, who developed the breed, had to go out and find some more examples in the valleys to keep the breed going. He later founded the Swedish Kennel Club, and this is his breed, the Hamilton Stavare, the Hamilton Hound. The ancestry includes the English foxhound and a German breed known as the Hanover Hound. Now, the interesting thing about this is that most hounds with a long tail carry them like a scimitar. One of the requirements of the Hamilton is that they don't raise the tail above the level of the back, as we see here.
And when they find their quarry, they bay in a typical hound-like fashion, directing the
This
hunter
is
to
four and
where
a half year old Larson, who's from Cumbria, described as very fun-loving and full of character.
And now for the second time in a Crufts Hound group, we see the Harrier.
Well, in terms of size, the Harrier sits between the rather taller foxhound and the smaller beagle. The two is on the vulnerable breed list. Its conformation and appearance is very similar to the foxhound and the beagle. Its mission was to hunt hare. That's where it gets its name from, originally known as the harehound.
And only in the last couple of years has the Harrier been reintroduced to the Kennel Club register. So this is, I think, the first time they've had classes at Crufts. Traditionally followed on foot, but later, with an input of foxhound blood in the 19th century, it became faster and can be followed also on horseback. Again, when hunting was banned, the packs of Harriers were threatened. There's only a few packs of Harriers left now, so it's rather good that there's a population building up for the show ring. This is Charlotte Hennessy, who's one of the key workers for the breed to get it reintroduced into the Kennel Club.
Ladies and gentlemen, your best of breed.
It's a 4-year-old female named Havoc.
And we now see the Ibethan Hound, judged today by Kari Arvonen from Finland.
And here is the Ibethan Hound. It's one of the Podengo family. It's this long-legged hound, this clean, long head and these large ears.
Long ago as 1928.
Now, when it moves, we'll see a spectacular gait. It's got this hovering gait. It's a little hover before it puts its foot down. It gives us this floating impression, yes.
And what about the ribs, which are so noticeable, Frank?
Well, they are lean dogs, rather flat in the rib cage. And the other interesting thing about them is that in many breeds, we want the deep brisket down to the elbow. There's a requirement here that it does not reach the elbow. It's about 2 inches higher than the elbow. Breed specifics. Can be rough or smooth coated, and here something a little more substantial now.
We might call this one the BFG of the dog world, the biggest of all the dog breeds, the Irish Wolfhound, known as a real gentle giant. And the Great Famine of Ireland in the 1840s actually almost put paid to the breed. They became very, very rare, but a breeding program saved them. And crossing Deerhound, Great Dane and Tibetan Mastiff, and they needed to be big because they were having to see off wolves that were threatening livestock.
Again, one of the great challenges for the breed is to get size and bone and also athleticism to keep this lightness on the move. This is the big winner in the breed for the last couple of years. And viewers might be interested to know that his owner and breeder is Chris Amu. He was the lead singer with the pop group The Real Thing. So this is his other great passion.
Are you a big fan, Frank?
Well, he's had a resurgence in popularity. They've been doing concerts this year. But the other interesting thing is that Chris here has won Best in Show at Crufts with his Afghan many years ago.
We turn our attention to the Norwegian elk hound, another breed today judged by Kari Arvonen from Finland.
And here is the Norwegian elk hound, the national dog of Norway. It's a very ancient breed, and skeletons of dogs of this type were found in Viking graves dating back 6,000 years. It's of Spitz type, which means it has this wedge-shaped head, these sharply pricked ears, this dense weatherproof coat, and this tail curved over his back. This is looking lovely. Beautiful proportions, lovely movement, and very good carriage and top line. I like this.
And as a 7-year-old now, this is a champion dog. Twice has been best of breed at Crufts.
And you see behind its shoulders these harness markings, the lighter shadings of coat, one of the breed features. And that's a very nice, it's going really well tonight.
Hound 13022.
We always talk about dogs being fit for their original function. The otter hound, as the name suggests, used to hunt otter. So it's got this wonderful double coat and oily feel to it, weather resistant, and webbed feet as well to help it move through the water.
And then this was a breed, another breed which was threatened when otter hunting was banned and the packs were disbanded, and it was, you know, there was a danger that it would become extinct. However, a few breeders got together, got some stock from the Kendal and Dumfriesshire packs, and they helped to get the breed going again. And we've got quite a popular breed now, a nucleus of keen exhibitors, and they're a wonderful breed. There's a nobility about the head. Their carriage is lovely. That weatherproof coat that you mentioned and the oiliness gives them a little bit of a sort of horsey smell about you. It's got this horsey smell that comes off the skin. But being a horse lover, I quite like the smell. I like the houndiness. I like the houndiness of them.
That hair rough but not wiry, and it should be presented naturally like that with no trimming.
It looks very rustic, doesn't it?
Number 13074.
And the next hound best of breed to be seen.
The wonderful silhouette of the Pharaoh hound. What elegance in that coat. Look at that arched neck, those lovely large ears, and that gaunt head. Isn't that glorious? That rich, supple coat. This is a breed which takes its name for the Egyptian dynasty, who held it in almost sacred regard. Carvings are seen on the breeds on the tombs of the pharaohs, and mummified remains found in the tombs bear a resemblance. They were often buried with their owners. Such was their affection for them.
It's only been in the UK since the 1970s. It's a sight and a scent hound, this one. It is real feature, aren't they?
But that wonderful outline. It's thought that it was really originated in Malta and taken to Egypt by Phoenician traders. The Phoenician traders took many breeds around Europe and were responsible for spreading them, yes.
Next we see the Portuguese Patengo. First shown here across in
this one, another rabbit hunter, also known as the Warren Hound. You can see it standing low there on the tabletop. It was a rabbit chaser, so getting right in amongst the warrens. It's now mostly a family dog. It can be smooth or wire haired. This one, a small variety.
And 3 sizes. This is the smallest of them. As you say, hugely popular in Portugal, but it's also of the same family of the Ibethan sound, which is the Podenco Ibichenko. It's of the same family, the rabbit hunters, but this one, compact, medium length of leg. It has to have great ground clearance. It's athletic and flexible, great characters, but should also be capable of bringing home the supper.
And this one hasn't come as far as Portugal, lives in East Sussex. 6-year-old Ore.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's our best of breed Portuguese Patengo, number 13146.
And now the Rhodesian Ridgeback. Supple, lithe and athletic. It was bred in South Africa, now Zimbabwe, to track game. Taken to Rhodesia with the early settlers, and it was developed specifically for tracking lion, holding the lions at bay until the guns came to dispatch it. So great courage was demanded. It takes its name, Ridgeback, from a ridge of hair running in the reverse direction along its spine. And it was canine culture that the hunters thought that a good ridge denoted courage in the hunting field.
They need a lot of courage taking on the lions that they were originally bred to hunt. But the breed standard talks about it being a handsome dog, and you have to say, you can see it there, strong and muscular as well.
And striding out beautifully here.
13158.
The Saluki has such a striking appearance, doesn't it? Characteristic feathering, very elegant and light-footed. Hails from the Middle East originally and prized by the Bedouins as much as they prize their Arab horses. It would be used to hunt hare, fox and gazelle. And the name comes from the ancient Arabian city of Saluk.
Longer than any other breed of dog. Today, Saluki closely resembles dogs depicted.
One of the most elegant of the hounds and light floating action. It was prized by the Bedouins along with their Arabian horses, often carried in the saddle of the horses, and when game was sighted, they put it down and off it went to hunt. It was often used to work with the hunter with falcons.
Should have a dignified expression.
And look at that lovely light lifting action and the elegance in the head.
13401.
Next dog to the judge.
Now this is the Slugi. It's a sight hound of North Africa. It's lean, elegant, and there are two types, the lighter desert type and those that are slightly heavier for working in the mountains. You'll see it's very lean, you can almost see its ribs, and that, don't think it's being underfed, that's a feature of it. It does not carry any subcutaneous fat, which was a feature which equipped them to deal with the extreme heat of the desert. It was taken to Europe by French soldiers returning after the occupation of Algeria.
Which is ideal for hunting gazelle and hare.
This one is 5 years old and has travelled here from Germany.
Although it has some similarity with the Saluki, it's rather squarer in its build, not quite as elegant in its outline.
Next, Josh, is the Whippet, the top breed entry here in the hound group.
Well, this Whippet has seen off 399 other entries at Crufts to be best of breed. Hugely popular here, and they really do make lovely family dogs. It's a sight hound that originally used to course rabbits when that was still legal, but these dogs really have a gentle and affectionate nature.
For hare coursing. For versatility and
everything about the Whippet is symmetry and athletic power, a combination of both. It's amazing that these started off their lives as the poor man's greyhound, developed in the Victorian times by miners who used to use them for coursing and bringing home the supper, and also used to gamble on them as well. Who would have believed that a functional dog like that would end up as one of the most popular show dogs in the world, popular all over the world for their elegance, this daisy-cutting action, the slight rise over the loin. This one has come from Norway to win.
13891.
And our last individual hound to be assessed here this evening comes from the import register class.
And
judged today
from the
Mrs. Patsy
import
Collins.
register, the Azawak, this exotic
is
beauty,
the Azawak.
long-limbed,
Number
long neck,
13906.
and again,
And the Azawak
a light-bodied
takes its name
dog
from
with the
Azawak valley in
extreme
large places
underline.
in Africa.
It was bred by the nomadic
nomadic
Tuareg
with
tribes in
tribes
Africa.
Sahara.
It was a prized possession,
hounds, they were used
and they
mostly
valued
on
the
gazelle, hunting
Azawak
and
almost as
taking
much as they
clans,
valued their
and thus
camels, which
exhausting
were one of their
prey.
life sources.
They were much
Bred to
valued
hunt
by their
gazelle,
owners for their beauty
they were
and
carried
speed.
again on the saddle and then
The
released
Azawak
when game was
also used as
sighted.
a guardian of the camp. They're the most
This is
extreme of the
Bahir,
sight
male,
hounds.
3 years
Legs
old from
slender with
Romania.
prominent hip bones. They're sensitive.
Striking,
They
very
appreciate gentle
angular in
hunting
its
and
outline. There's
they're
nothing,
all
not the
very
smooth
That's
flowing
our
lines.
best of
It's
breed.
angular,
Import
it's narrow.
register, the
They
Azawak,
require to have some white
13906.
on the feet, on the chest, and perhaps on the tail.
And so, as Judge Mike Capel
Time
takes
for a
one last
final
look
look
at
before
34 of
some
these
decisions
best of
are
breed
made.
hounds,
Then very
before he
soon
makes his
we'll find out
shortlist,
who is the winner
there were
of the Hound group.
2,832 hounds today, and I think we'd like to show our appreciation for this magnificent group of hounds.
It's a large group, isn't it? The Hound group, different shapes and sizes, all wonderful examples of their breed. So our judge Mike Capel has a bit of a job on his hands.
Lovely outline of
It's
the
a large group.
Ibethan hound there, the strength
With
of the
34 breeds.
Irish wolfhound coming down the line.
As our judge, Mike Capel, makes his way down the line, I think shortly we'll know a shortlist.
All goes very quiet in the arena at this stage of things, Frank, doesn't it?
And this is where the judge needs to... he's quick in knowing what he wants. The Afghan comes out.
Is the Afghan Hound.
And here is the Grand Basset Griffon Vendéen and the Beagle.
The Basset Griffon Vendéen Grand. Next out, it's the Beagle.
The standard wire Dachshund comes out from the Dachshund family.
And then we have the Wirehead Dachshund.
The Irish Wolfhound next.
The Irish Wolfhound.
And the Pharaoh Hound.
Followed by the Pharaoh Hound.
And the Saluki and the Whippet is brought out. And there are our 8 finalists for the Hound group.
Can we have a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, to all these best of breed winners in the
round of applause for those leaving. But there are our 8, the Grand Basset, the Beagle.
So our judge will...
I think they're being sent back now and we'll see them moving. One last chance to see them moving out.
8 Hound finalists to the top of the ring.
So a chance for another close look
Another chance
before we'll start to get our winner. There'll be 4 placed in all.
And first to go is the
This one then, the 5-year-old Afghan Hound. This is Alfie from the UK, but also links to Australia too.
Bred in Australia, came over 2 years ago. This is Claire Millwood. She's been very successful with several of her Afghans. And here's the Grand Basset, Forget Me Not. Well, she's having a good Crufts. Runner-up in the Centenary Stakes.
Hoping not to be forgotten.
And here's the Beagle.
Female, just 22 months old, Tiana. From
They're not a flashy breed, but absolutely correct, functional, carrying herself well.
Next to go is
the
the Wirehead Dachshund.
Smart, crisp outline of the Wirehead Dachshund. You can see the texture of that coat, lovely ground clearance and a beautiful top line.
Otherwise known as Cherry, 3 years old, from Gloucestershire.
Here's Sade Paris, top winner for the last couple of years. Remarkably light on the feet for a dog of this substance.
There's lots of fans in the arena, the Irish Wolfhound.
And this was beautiful, this lovely, lovely outline of this Pharaoh Hound.
This one from the Isle of Man, 5 years old, female.
Nothing exaggerated about it, just beautiful breed type and balance.
And off goes the Saluki.
This one named Stormy, 4.5 years old, from East Sussex.
The judge now just checking the movement, watching how they use the hocks as they go away from him, how they come back to him to see accurate movement. Here we're looking for daisy cutting actions, clean, sweeping stride without much lift to it.
This is Jasper, who's travelled from Norway, just 2 years old. So now, very final deliberations before we'll find out who is going through to Best in Show on Sunday night. We've already had the gun dog group decided, working, pastoral and terrier. Teasing us.
The boards are out. We're going to know the decision soon, Mr. Capel.
Who will it be?
The Wolfhound.
Well, that is a popular one, Frank, isn't it?
Chris Amu and Sade Paris win the Hound group. In second place, the Grand Basset Griffon Vendéen. In third place, it's the Pharaoh Hound. And for reserve spot, where is number 4? It's the Beagle. The Beagle getting reserve spot here. So the Irish Wolfhound will be back tomorrow to compete for Best in Show.
Well, how about that? The Big Friendly Giants goes through.
Could it be the real thing? We'll see tomorrow, yes.
Well, Paris, 5 years
Now
old.
it gives me very great pleasure
And lives
to
in
welcome
Cheshire.
Mrs. Anne Hill to present the prizes.
Described
tonight
as
to this
very
winner of the
laid
Hound
back,
Group.
takes everything in
Mrs.
his
Anne Hill
stride.
with her husband Graham, breeders of
Does
the
a lot of
famous
running as
Nimue
well.
Borzoi.
Beaming smile.
I hand you back
Now
down to
Paris
the
just seems
ring
very, very
for
nonplussed
winners
at this
interlude
stage.
And Marina White.
What a
Thank
worthy,
you
worthy
very much,
winner
Kim.
of the Hound
so there
Group.
we have our Hound Group winner. This stunning Irish Wolfhound is going through to Best in Show tomorrow. It's my great pleasure to have a quick word with the owner, handler, breeder, Chris and Moo. I know you've won Best in Show at Crufts with an Afghan in the past, but it is still so exciting to be here. Tell us how you're feeling.
Absolutely unbelievable, honestly. I can't explain, it's great, it's amazing.
Why is Crufts so special?
Because it's the best dog show in the world, without a shadow.
And tell us about Paris.
Yeah, Paris is, he's special to us, you know, he's very special. He's just a special dog. That's all I can say, really.
You seem a bit gobsmacked.
I am. Why shouldn't I be? I mean, I've just won the Hound Group at Crufts. I mean, that's... You can't get any better than that, can you?
It certainly doesn't. Well, many congratulations. We'll see you tomorrow night for Best in Show. Please enjoy your lap of honour, Chris Moo and Paris.